From Deptford High School, Comcast Cable Channel 5 presents South Jersey High School Baseball. Today in the Tri-County Royal Division, it's the host Deptford Spartans against the Clearview Pioneers. Hello everybody, I'm Marc Narducci along with Shawn Leary. And Shawn, this should be an outstanding game. I mean, Deptford comes into this season 7-5, has already qualified for the Group 3 state tournament.
Right.
Clearview 6-6 though, still has some work to do.
Right, they have to win one of two games. You know, sitting at that 500 mark now, you need to be 500 by Friday's cutoff date. You have Delsey on Wednesday, but they'd like to get it done today. Just forget about Wednesday's game, get a win here, and get into the postseason.
And the other thing is, the Royal Division is far
Right.
from settled. I mean, Williamstown's up front in first place, but this has been a wild year.
Yeah, this is one of them years that you can't really rule out anybody at this point because everyone's kind of beating up on each other, and there's really no clear-cut favorite even coming into the year. So we kind of thought it would be fun, and it's certainly been exciting.
And, you know, when you talk about Clearview, a team with a lot of good underclassmen, but one of the top seniors, a guy you've known and broadcasting a couple sports, is Eddie Eisenhart, the shortstop.
Yeah, and what I really think he brings is really leadership, the ability to motivate a team and get them to play inspired baseball so that they can win games. And especially in a game like today where you really want to look for somebody, I expect Eisenhart to have a good game. You really try to win to get into the playoffs. He's a guy that was a quarterback, a leader in the fall. He's a leader here for this baseball team and plays some pretty good shortstop as well.
Absolutely. Also hitting .375 on the year. Now, when you go to the other side of it, Deptford has, I think, one of the premier hitters in all South Jersey, and first baseman Dave Prager.
Right, he has 3 home runs this year. Might have had 4. There was some controversy with a Delsey home run, but this is a kid that's just a pure hitter, and I think Tim Taylor really likes this kid. All that he brings, not only on the diamond, but also his leadership qualities as well. Like Eisenhart, you know, he's a guy who's going to be able to lead his team, and especially in big games, you expect him also to have a big game. I expect both of these guys to have an outstanding game. Maybe the better of the two, maybe the one who wins this game.
Absolutely. So, again, Clearview looking to clinch a berth in the postseason. Deptford looking to get some pretty recent momentum and keep it going. We'll be back for the opening pitch right after this timeout. And welcome back. Marc Narducci with Shawn Leary. As you see the Clearview lineup, Walt Risky, who has only had 4 at-bats but has 4 hits this year leading off. Scott Milton, who's been very hot playing left field. Hitting third is the young man we talked about at the pregame, Eddie Eisenhart. The cleanup hitter is the second baseman, Michael Hann. Matt Bodine playing center field and batting 5th. Hitting 6th and playing right field is Jim Emmerich. Shane Taylor is the third baseman, batting 7th. Hitting 8th and playing first base, Brandon Sheets. And batting 9th and catching, Nick Casiola. And there you see the defense for this Deptford team. Foley, the catcher. C.J. Blaney, we talked about the pitcher. McCarthy at third. Shaber at short. Zelvis at second. And Prager, who we talked about in the pregame, at first base. In the outfield, Rob Blair in right field. Matt Kapler in center. And Chris Gonzalez is your left fielder. The umpires today, a veteran, Dave Borton, one of the top umpires in South Jersey. He'll be behind the plate. There you see Dave cleaning the plate off there. One of the, as we mentioned, one of the best outfielders, and also Rob Harden. And the weather report, how about this, Shawn? 67 degrees, 52% humidity, winds 2 miles an hour, south-southwest, and almost a perfect day, you could say, for baseball, isn't it?
Bottom line, it's just a gorgeous day. Good to be outside.
33, Walt Risky.
So Walt Risky, the senior DH, a gentleman that has not come out for baseball till his senior season, and there you see him 4 for 4, and Clearview coach Rocco Canaccia looking to give him a start, trying to interject some offense into this Clearview team.
Good athlete, Risky, basketball player, cross country. He's done winter and spring track before. Kid that likes to be involved in the school. Good kid. Good.
Takes the first pitch for a strike from right-hander C.J. Bainey, who is 2-1 on the season for the Spartans. That's high, ball 1-1 the count. Bainey with a 4.59 earned run average for this Deptford team. Leads the team in innings pitched with 32. 38 strikeouts in 32 innings. You like that ratio, and that's fouled off, and it's 1-2 now. To the leadoff batter, Walt Risky. Risky, the DH today for pitcher Matt Spillman for the Pioneers.
Baney's name should sound familiar. We covered his sister.
Just gets a piece of it. Count remains 1-2.
Sister Mo Baney, who was here for years, for 4 years, obviously,
Catcher,
and then
right?
went to Rutgers Camden. Yeah, catcher. Caught, if I'm not mistaken, Nicole Ayers for a few years. Mo was a very good catcher and also a very good hitter. Dual threat for the Spartans.
Off-speed pitch and a nice job by Risky, just getting a piece of it and staying alive.
It's what you want your leadoff hitter to do, spoil some pitches, give the guys behind in the lineup a chance to see what Baney throws, what he likes to do in certain situations. You keep an eye on that. These guys are intently, you can see him behind. Hightower, nickname given to Risky.
These two teams played earlier. Oh, he does not. Does he commit to it? Yep, they called him out. Could not lay off that pitch, so 1 up and 1 down.
Now batting for Clearview, number 30, Scott Milton.
And this is sophomore Scott Milton, one of the real fine young hitters in the Trico. There you see the numbers, 438. Shawn, he's 6 for his last 7, though. He's been pretty hot. He takes that pitch high for ball 1. I think that's going to be a key with these Clearview hitters. Baney has that late movement on the fastball. Try to stay off of that high fastball. And that's high, 2-0.
Yeah, there's a point, especially you hear this in baseball, if you go to if you get high sometimes in the strike zone, you can get hurt. But also it can be effective. Marc is throwing that high fastball that batters will chase.
10 RBIs on the season.
Ooh,
That's a
hit that
long
top.
drive to left field. Gonzalez going back. That's over his head. This one's going to be extra bases for Milden, and he goes in the second base with a stand-up double.
Yeah, this kid is really hitting the cover of the ball. Just a sophomore in left field. He's done a nice job of that number 2 position. One of the reasons why the Pioneers are still in the hunt for the playoffs is the play by their left fielder and number 2 hitter.
Third double of the season for Scott Milden. Now that makes him 7 for his last 8.
Now batting for Clearview, number 2, Eddie Eisenhart.
And that'll bring up Eddie Eisenhart. There you see the 375 average, the 12 runs. 1 home run on the season. Also 7 RBIs for Eisenhart. And as Shawn mentioned in the pregame, there's no statistic to measure the leadership that he's brought to this program. There's an off-speed pitch for a strike. So Baney gets ahead 0-1.
Not a lack of size from any of the 3 first hitters for the Pioneers, all of them. Has some height.
And Eisenhart will be heading to Rowan University to keep up the tradition of that program. That ball's fouled, and quickly Baney gets ahead 0-2. So 1 out here in the top of the first inning. No score between Clearview and Deptford, but the Pioneers are threatening. Outside fastball. 1-2 the count.
Here's a spot as a 3-hole hitter you want to protect. Try to get that count back in your favor or try and punish a mistake made by Baney if he keeps something out over the plate.
Clearview, by the way, Shawn, looking to snap a 4-game losing streak here. That ball's high, 2-2 the count.
Yeah, they were sitting pretty. It looked like the Pioneers were destined for the playoffs and ran into some trouble.
ran into one of the teams they ran into in that streak was Delsey, a team that got off to a terrible start, losing first 3 games, but the Crusaders have really come on lately. Breaking pitch. Nice job by Tom Foley, the catcher, keeping it near him, and now the count's full. Deptford, of course, as we mentioned, has to play Williamstown this week, but already in the state tournament. Just missed for ball 4 on the outside corner. So Clearview now has runners on first and second with 1 down, and that'll bring up the Clearview, the cleanup hitter for Clearview, Michael Hand.
22, Michael Hand.
Well, football, you have to have a good eye. You got to make quick decisions. And that time, he doesn't pull the trigger. And good decision by him. Gets himself to first base. Good at bat for Eisenhart. Giving Hand a shot here. Some runners on base.
Hand looking to bunt. You don't see that with the cleanup hitter too much, do you? Again, he's hitting .361, so he's made a lot of contact this season. 10 runs scored. Hand is heading to Stockton. A number of these Clearview players going on to play college baseball. It's happened a lot during the tenure of Coach Rocco Canaccia. Bainey looked at second that time, didn't throw it. Here's a good look at Milden at second base. He's getting a pretty good lead there. Dean Shaver, the shortstop, trying to keep him close. Breaking pitch, and that'll find its way through the hole. Milden coming home, and he's going to score the first run on the RBI single by Michael Hand, and the Pioneers lead it 1-0.
Well, Hand does a nice job of just delivering that to the opposite field. To be honest with you, Shaver, who was trying to keep the runner close at second base, that was a spot he probably would have ate that play up. But since he was trying to hold the runner on, that's a perfect spot in the location to hit the ball. Just going the opposite way with it. Nice job by Hand. Shooting it through the infield and scoring easily was Milden.
Shawn, that was a great replay because you saw very little wasted motion on Hand as Bainey goes to second base now, and Eisenhart will go to third on the error. And also moving up to second is Hand.
You watch here, just going to turn and fire. Looked like it might have hit the back of the cleat for Eisenhart. He gets up, and them long strides. Goes into third base. Now you got runners in scoring position. Important just to get at least 1 run in and put pressure on Deptford.
Bodine hits it. We'll see if it's deep enough. Oh, it drops in for a base hit. Coming home is Eisenhart with the second run on the RBI single by Bodine. That was a play where there was a little bit of indecision there, but a pretty good heads up by Eisenhart.
Yeah, it looked like Zelius was having trouble with that all the way. It was put in a spot where the right fielder wasn't able to come up and make the play. Blair had too much space to try and catch up with the ball and was dropping fast. Good effort that time by the second baseman, but things are going, all the bounces going the Pioneers' way so far to start this game.
That'll bring up Jim Emmerich for Clearview as he takes it high for ball 1. Emmerich hitting .389. Boy, Clearview's got some pretty potent offense, 1 through 7 in this lineup. There you see the 7 RBIs, 10 runs scored. Pop-up foul, the count's 1-1. The one problem also Bainey has had, Shawn, he's pitching behind. He's pitching behind in the count.
Yeah. Got a couple of Pioneers that chase with that high fastball and has gotten into trouble with that now. He's got to bring it back down into the strike zone and try to keep this team guessing. He's had a couple of nice, I was ready to say breaking pitches that you might want to try to use a little bit more.
Well, there's a curveball right in there for a strike, and now he's ahead 1-2. Now, Bainey has walked coming into the game 29 batters in 32 innings. And of course, there's been one walk, Eisenhardt, who ended up scoring the second Clearview run. That's out of play. Count remains 1-2. One thing I'm seeing from these Clearview hitters, Shawn, in the first inning here, even when they are behind in the count, they're staying alive. That was a perfect example that time. Emmerich just got a little piece of that foul ball just to stay alive and try to look for his pitch. There you see the score. Clearview up 2-0 here in the top of the first. Bainey looking to get out of a jam. Runners at first and second with one down. Oh, there's a shot down third baseline for a base hit. One run will score. And going to second base is Emmerich with the stand-up double, and the Pioneers now lead it 3-0.
Yeah, that's a spot where Bainey was up in the count, and he just made a mistake, got too much of the plate that time. So going out to talk with him now is Tim Taylor. Coach, watch the swing here. Inside part of the plate. Nice looking swing, drives that ball down the line, and plenty of room out there for Clearview to plate another run.
Max McCarthy had no chance of that at third base that time. That was a rocket. Tim Taylor, the coach at Deptford, has done a great job with this program and trying to go out and settle his pitcher down here.
Yeah, Tim Taylor, I don't know if too many people talk about him as one of the better coaches around, but I would certainly put him in there with some of the top coaches. He's done a nice job with this program. If you think about Deptford, they haven't had too many seasons where they've graduated a ton of players and really let down the following year. It seems like, and even when he does lose a good amount of players to graduation, they still have a decent year and get into the playoffs. It also says something about the feeder program as well here in Deptford, that you have an abundance of athletes to come up and just replace and retool, as they say, instead of rebuild.
Shane Taylor at the plate. He's down in the count 0-2. And I don't know if I'm showing my age, Shawn, but I covered Tim Taylor when he was at Bishop Eustace, and he was quite a baseball player there. He's done a great job, and he and Rocco, the head coach of Clearview, are very good friends. They've worked together in the Carpenter Cup, coaching together on that Tri-Cape entry, which is always a competitive team in the Carpenter Cup.
Rocco's another guy. He's been a baseball guy his whole life. Loves the sport, loves to be involved with it, loves to be involved with the kids. Good all-around guy. I know Clearview's really happy to have him around. They should be.
Absolutely. He played on the Monmouth University. The team was recently honored for going to the NAIA tournament when he played there in 1977.
That's
Bainey can't get it. This is trouble, and it's going to be an infield hit. Shaber faked the throw the first, and the bases are now loaded on the infield single by Shane Taylor.
I'll tell you what, that's a nice play by Shaber, and the fact that he doesn't force anything. You know, so many times in high school, Mark, how many times you see it? A kid's going to try to make a play, you're down, you kind of frustrate a little bit, you throw over and just frustration, and you know, you have a possibility of throwing it down the line or something. He just swallows it, gives his team and his pitcher another chance to try and get it out.
So bring up Brandon Sheets, the 8th batter. This ball gets by Foley, but not far enough for the runner at third base, Bodine, to advance. There you see Sheets' numbers. That 12 RBI leads the team.
Snaps that curve. It's just going to get past Bainey. Watch Shaber. He's just going to come up, and this is just a smart play. And these are the types of things I like to see from high school kids, the smart plays from a guy like Shaber. And it's not, you know, not anything big, nothing you're going to see in the box, but a good leadership type play.
Pop up. looking to make a run for it, and that ball will drop foul. That was a long, long run for Dave Prager that time. Made a valiant effort.
Pioneers are just getting every bounce. I mean, that ball's put in a spot where both the first baseman and the right fielder couldn't get to it. A little further, the right fielder might have been able to snag it. A little closer to the infield, the first baseman might have grabbed it and got the out, but now another chance.
Well, you're happy that Prager and right fielder Rob Blair didn't have any kind of a collision. Those could be tough plays as that ball's high. 2-1 now, the count to Sheets. How about a guy batting eighth, leading your team in RBIs? It's been it's been a balanced offense by Clearview this year.
You can see some of these teams like the Pioneers and Kingsway Dragons putting up big numbers in that Royal Division, but the one thing that hasn't been consistent is pitching in this Royal Division, and that's probably why you have the jam up in the Royal, is because there hasn't been a team that's been able to dominate with its pitching. It's kind of been some slugfest.
Although Williamstown recently has started really tearing the cover off the ball. By the way, 3-1 with the bases loaded here. Sheets will probably look at this one closely. Oh, he hits it to center field, and that ball is caught by, dropped by Kapler. 1 run scores, and the bases remain loaded, Shawn. I thought Kapler had that.
Yeah, I did too. But it's just every single bounce is going the opposite way if you're a Spartans fan. I'm not even sure what happened there. I mean, that was Kapler's all the way. You can see the disgust on him. I mean, this is a little unexpected, Mark. I didn't think they'd be able to jump out on Beatty early in this game the way the Pioneers have, but everything.
Clearview now up 4-0 as Nick Cassiola takes that first pitch for a ball. There you see the average, 241. How about that, though, the 13 walks that he's had. Because of that, Shawn, he has a 476 on-base percentage, and that's your number 9 hitter. And he clubs it to left field. Gonzalez. That drops in, and it's 5-0 Clearview. And as you mentioned, the Pioneers are finding the right spots.
Rocco's going to pay us to do every game from here on out.
Batting for Clearview, number 33.
He's never going to want us to leave. Just making contact, putting the ball in play. Just getting around on him. You got to feel bad for Bainey. He's seen some of these balls he has kept up too much of the plate, and I really think he ought to continue to try and work some of them breaking pitches over.
Well, when Clearview beat Deptford earlier in this year, it was Michael Hand the winner for the Pioneers in that 10-4 game. And Risky takes the first pitch for a strike.
Now that you're ahead of the hitter, now's where you want to get him thinking. But see, with the pressure that's on you now, it becomes so much more difficult.
Breaking pitch just missed. 1-1 the count. Mike Dickin was the pitcher last time for Deptford, and he took the loss against Clearview. Ground ball to Shaber at short. That'll bring in another run, and it also beat it out for an infield base hit, and it's now 6-0 on the infield single by Walt Risky. And the Pioneers continue to pile it on.
That ball wasn't even hit well. And there's nothing you could do. It's just perfectly placed for Risky to be able to beat the throw out. He's got those long strides, a big kid that can hustle down the line. And this guy's your hottest hitter.
Scott Milden, who doubled his first time and scored. We mentioned he's now 7 for his last 8.
You got a feel for Bainey. I mean, he's made a couple of couple of bad pitches, but Mark, I mean, there's been a couple. Clearview's fought off some pitches. There's been a couple of mistakes in the field. You don't get to a couple of balls that were just dinks and just placed beyond the infield. Just couldn't catch up with the outfielders. It's just been a rough inning for the young man.
That's low for ball 3 with the bases loaded. Jason Mordica warming up, and he has not pitched this year. We'll talk about him a little bit. And taking all the way that time was Milden, 3-1 the count. Mordica's been injured, but what a lift he could give this team in the final few weeks of the season. There's a shot that's just foul. So the count's now full to Scott Milden. Bases loaded. Clearview leading 6-0. Still just one out here in the top of the first.
Canaccia reminding his base runner at third to make sure you stay in foul territory. Come out and come up the line. So that hits you if you're in fair territory, Mark. He's out.
That's Brandon Sheets, your runner at third. Counts full, popped up, and out of play. Shawn, that was a perfect example of what we were talking about. That was a very, very tough pitch, and Milden fought it off, got a piece of it, stayed alive to get another swing.
We're always talking about like errors, how you don't want to give a team an extra out. It's all the same thing. You don't want to give a batter an extra pitch.
And credit to these Clearview hitters, and that's high for ball 4, and it is now 7-0.
Especially some of the good hitters. How many times have you seen, even at the major league level, where a guy continues to spoil pitches off? Because also now you're getting your timing down as well. And that's where you see some of those big hitters really punish the pitchers, because you get so many looks at it.
So that'll bring up Eddie Eisenhart. There you see, walked, came around the score as he takes that for ball 1.
Just on the outside part, of just outside of the strike zone, and 7-0
Clearview, and for a Pioneers team that had been struggling for, say, the last week and a half, this is the kind of start that you know that Coach Canaccia would like to see for this team. That's low for ball 2. I would have to think if Eisenhart gets on base that this might be the last batter that Bainey sees. Again, 2-1 on the season. He's had a nice season. That ball's out of play. Count 2-1. The other thing I'm noticing about the Clearview hitters is they're going with the pitch as we.
Looks like it's the
Deptford's.
It looks like the softball field. Hope everyone's all right.
That one way foul, way out ahead of it that time, as Eisenhart, who has 1 home run on the season, really ahead of that ball, but the count's now 2-2. There you see the score. He just punches that one into right field, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score, and it's now 9-0 on the 2-run single by Eddie Eisenhart. And it continues, Shawn, and now we are going to have a change as Mordica will be coming in.
See Bainey frustrated. I feel terrible for him because he didn't pitch. I mean, that's a perfect example. All Eisenhart does is flick that ball onto right field. It doesn't get a great swing on it. Does a nice job of fighting that off to go to the opposite way. But it wasn't a terrible pitch. It was just placed perfectly by Eisenhart, where Blair couldn't catch up with it in right field. Now you're going to have Mordecai who's going to come in and try and nail things down for Deptford. It's just a very difficult time for Bainey and the Spartans, and I just don't think the way he pitched really was deserving of the inning that the Pioneers are putting together here. Every single break has gone for the Pioneers to start this game.
Now, here's an interesting young man for the Deptford team because this is a first appearance for Jason Mordecai. He was a second-team All-Conference pitcher a year ago, Shawn, but he broke his wrist, and he's just gotten back. And I'm telling you what, I think he could be a real key factor for the Spartans coming down the stretch here.
Right, when you get a guy of his caliber to come in, especially during the playoff time, Mark, you know this, you just can't have one guy. You need a couple of guys to be able to go deep in the tournaments. Especially for some of those good teams who will also participate in the Diamond Classic. You really need a couple of arms, and this is a kid that can certainly help his team, and he does have a nice live arm. It's just a question or concern is how he will be affected from that wrist injury, and all but healed now. But how does he feel being able to release that ball, and has anything changed in his motion because of it?
And the other thing you wonder about a pitcher who's coming in for his first game, you wonder how his command will be, early on. But I'll tell you what, he is going to be a real boost to this team, and only a junior. A lot of good juniors on this Deptford team.
Well, this is a perfect spot to bring him in to see how he is because, right, you don't know how his command will be, but at this point, you could take some chances, give some people some different looks. I know we're in the first inning, but the Pioneers have just come out and have exploded on the Spartans.
The runners at the corners with Milden at third, Eisenhart at first. It's 9-0 with one out here in the top of the first. What an explosion by the Pioneers. And Michael Hand at the plate with a base hit, an RBI and a run scored, and he takes that first pitch for ball one. Of course, Hand has been so valuable to this team, both playing second base and also obviously pitching. Ball two. Eisenhart going, he steals easily. So now both runners in scoring position.
Eisenhart's a big kid, but he's got good speed. And we didn't see that too much during the fall season because he was always chucking the ball around. This kid who had a terrific arm didn't need to really run.
Ninth stolen base of the season. Ball three. Again, Foley's made a few nice blocks there. Shawn, someone might say you're up 9-0. Why are you stealing the base? But I'll tell you what. Clearview's looking to win this game, and you are already thinking, if you're Clearview, you're thinking the 10-run rule to try to save some innings. If you're Deptford, you're thinking of just trying to scrap back into this.
And nothing against anybody on the Clearview Pioneers, but you don't have Asa Moose on the mound anymore for Clearview. There's no one that's really stood out and become an ace pitcher for this Pioneer team. So you want to try to get as many runs as you can in the first inning. The first inning, I think first and second, third innings, I think you just got to score as many times as you possibly can, especially in high school baseball, and then take it from there. And I always say, you know what? And this goes in football, baseball, whatever it is. You play, and you play hard at all times. I don't stop them. If you really complain about it, stop them.
And that's ball four, and the bases are now loaded again.
Batting for Clearview, number
Clearview has
21,
8 hits in this inning. And that'll bring up Matt Bodine, who has a single, a run scored, and an RBI.
Be interesting to see if Deptford maintains some concentration in the field. You know, this is where sometimes you just kind of lose it. You start getting tired out there and you're not thinking. But, you know, hey, this Clearview scored this many runs. You can also do the same. And Clearview, again, it's not like they are lighting the world up in their pitching. That's no offense to anybody, but you can score runs on them.
I think that's been the case for the whole Tri-County Royal this year, really.
Take a look at it. Yeah.
No lead is real safe. Ground ball through for another base hit. 1 run will score. The play at the plate, and it's a 2-run single, and the runners will advance. And it is now 11-0 Pioneers.
Now if you're Clearview, Mark, though,
Batting for Clearview, number 24.
and I don't want to say you want to take it easy,
Emmerich.
but you want to be careful when you're sending your runners, you're sliding into home plate. You don't want to get one of your guys or a key player injured in a game that you're well in command of. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a spot where, you know, you might want to start thinking about that if you're Rocco. And I don't want a big play at the plate and I get a guy with a broken finger.
Pop up the left field. Oh, shortstop is that. Shaber has it for the second out. Again, that ball looked in the beginning like it was going a little bit further and
Now batting for Clearview,
held up that
number
time, and
4,
Shaber right there for the
Taylor.
second out. So that'll bring up Shane Taylor again with runners at second and third. Runners advancing on the errant throw. I'll tell you one thing that you're noticing. Mordecai has pretty nice movement, doesn't he, on that breaking pitch? That didn't go for a strike that time.
But that just dropped right off, right out of the strike zone. And nice job by Foley being able to stop that.
Low for a ball. 2-0 the count.
Difference between Mordecai and Baney's. Baney had some control problems up top. He did leave a couple of them balls high, whereas Mordecai, when he's made some, when he's been making mistakes, they've been low and out of the strike zone where Clearview couldn't punish him.
Here's a fastball for a strike. 2-1 the count. It looks like the difference is it looks like Mordecai has a little bit better command of his fastball. Baney never really seemed to have that. He threw a lot of pitches, as you mentioned, high out of the strike zone with that fastball. And that's low for ball 3. 3-1 the count to Shane Taylor, who scored his first time.
Baney's done an okay job for this team, but that's the one problem that he has had is his control. He had the 29 walks coming into the game.
Ground ball to Zelvis at second, and this should do it for the final out. So 11 runs in this first inning. Deptford certainly has its work cut out. We'll be back right after this. And welcome back. Marc Narducci with Shawn Leary. Deptford with its work cut out, but at least with some time, as Dean Shaber will lead things off for the Spartans as he takes that first pitch for a ball against left-hander Matt Spillman. There's Shaber, Nick Ruggiero second, Dave Prager hitting third, the cleanup hitter Max McCarthy, the catcher Tom Foley hitting fifth, Dave Zelvis hitting sixth, Chris Gonzalez in left 7, Rob Blair 8, and Matt Kapler, the center fielder, hitting ninth. And there's the defense, Casiolo catching, Sheets, Hand, Eisenhart, and Taylor in the infield, Milden in left, Bodine in center, and Emmerich in right. And of course the pitcher is Matt Spillman, 0-1 with a 4.71 ERA. There you see Shaber at 488. Look at the 22 runs for a leadoff hitter. Hand has it at second. And Shaber showing some pretty good speed down the line, but he gets him for the first out.
Well, he's a really good athlete. He's a terrific soccer player, Mark. You know that.
Absolutely.
I think he's developed into a really good all-around athlete. You know, a lot of people talk about his soccer skills, but there you can see he's put up some really nice numbers in that leadoff spot. He has good wheels. He's done a nice job in that position for the Spartans.
And Nick Ruggiero takes that first pitch. He's the DH for a ball.
Well, how would you like to go out in the first inning? You have an 11-run lead. That just, as a pitcher, Mark, you come in with such a relaxed demeanor going to the mound when you have that type of a lead to start the game.
He gets behind 3-0 to Ruggiero, and
can't be that relaxed. You got to throw strikes.
Ruggiero, 4 hits on the season. He might be looking at a couple right now here. Only needs to look at one. He's first base runner for the Spartans with the walk.
Now batting for the Spartans, number 24, Dave Prager.
And that'll bring up the gentleman we talked about in the pregame, Dave Prager. What a season he is having. He has all 3 Deptford home runs this year. As you know, Shawn, this is one of the toughest places to hit a home run in South Jersey. There you see 23 RBIs, and he takes it low for ball 1. And Tim Taylor's been around a long time, and when he says this is one of the best hitters he's ever had.
He's most likely headed to Pfeiffer University in North Carolina. Right. When Taylor says that about you, Mark, you're right. That's some high praise. He's had some really good hitting players in this lineup over the last few years. Remember, this is a team who won a South Jersey title a few years back.
I'll tell you what a veteran hitter Prager was. He took that strike. The count's 2-1 now, but he took that first strike. He was not going to swing until he saw a strike. They're going to make Spillman throw strikes. Gets a good rip on that one, but it's out of play, so the count's 2-2. There you see Tim Taylor.
He's got to try to, probably thinking, where did we go wrong? What? I don't remember changing anything out as we walked out here.
Well, you know what else, too? It's been an anxious spring for him. His wife is due with their first child in about 2 weeks, so obviously excited about that as well. High for ball 3. Counts now full to Prager.
I'm not going to run through them, but Deptford's done a nice job here with its coaches. You have Al Oreo in the spring, and like I said, I'm not going to run through all of them. Hoskins in the winter at boys basketball.
That one will find its way through for a base hit, and again, Prager showing the kind of hitter he is, Shawn, going the other way on that 3-2 pitch.
You just take what the pitcher gives you. If it's going to be on the outside part of the plate, try to shoot it the opposite way. Finds a hole, and that's what the Pioneers were doing in the top half of this inning. Now Deptford with a chance to just inch back, and that's all you can do is just take it one batter at a time. Continue to move guys and see what you can do against Bill. The most important thing, and what I thought these last 2 batters were, is be patient. You have a tendency sometimes when you get behind to try and get it all back in one swing. Down 11 runs kind of takes that type of pressure off. You're able to really relax at the plate, but it's important just to continue to have the patience there.
There you see Max McCarthy's numbers as ball gets by, and the runners will both advance on the wild pitch. 1-1 the count. Spillman came into today having pitched 16 1/3 innings, Shawn. 11 walks in that time, 13 strikeouts. So he's not a guy that will blow the ball by you. Ground ball to third. They'll get the play at first that time. Nice play by Taylor as Deptford scores the first run.
up on number 12, Foley.
So as you mentioned, Deptford chipping away. It is now 11-1 Clearview. You see the runner at third is Prager. Now it'll bring up the catcher, Tom Foley, who already has made some pretty nice stops behind the plate. There you see the 429 average he comes in with, as that's a strike.
What he's doing is really taking that outside pitch and he's hitting the ball better to the opposite field.
Gets him on an off-speed pitch that time, and it's now 0-2. And you know, that was a nice play by Taylor at third. Maybe sometimes the inclination will be, let's try to get the runner at home. He's saying, you know, we have an 11-run lead. Let's get the shore out at first. He fists that and caught by right fielder Emmerich for the third out. So 1 run by Deptford, 1 hit, and 1 left. At the end of 1, it's Clearview 11 and Deptford 1. And there you see the scores. We're in the top of the second inning. Clearview 11-1. Shawn, to put this in perspective, Clearview in its first 12 games scored more than 11 2 times the whole game this season, and getting 11 in the first inning. Those times beating St. Anthony 13-1 and beating Pennsauken Tech 12-0.
Yeah, you're just looking at us. You probably think, boy, this Clearview lineup, they must be undefeated, or they must be scoring runs in bunches. It's not really been the case, but they, again, it's got every opportunity, every mistake made by Deptford in that first inning, they made the most of.
Sheets the ground ball to McCarthy at third. That's a tough throw and a nice scoop that time by Prager at first for the first out.
Yeah, Prager's done a real nice job at first base. We talked about his hitting, but a lot of people have talked also about his defense.
Number 3, Nick
And when
Cacciola.
you talk about the strength of his position, he admits it. He can pick it out of there with the best of them, and he did a nice job of helping out McCarthy, the third baseman.
Nick Cacciola, the catcher, with a base hit, a run scored, and an RBI, his first time up. And that boosted his average to 266. Here's a look at it, Shawn.
You see McCarthy's going to be able to make this play. It's got the long throw, able to set and throw. Watch how he stays down on this. And a nice job by bending the knees, getting down, and picking it clean. That's the short hop that you want, Mark, right there, where you can get it right on that dirt.
As you mentioned, Prager with a nice scoop. There's an off-speed pitch that time. 1-1 the count.
Where you don't want to have it hit, and that you can see it kind of there, not so much at first base, is that cutout. You see where the dirt and the grass meet at the bottom of the screen. If you get a short hop there, you can get a funny bounce, and that's where first basemen have trouble picking up that bounce and controlling it.
That ball got away from Mordecai that time. It's 2-1 the count to Cacciola. 11 runs, 9 hits that first inning for Clearview. There's a strike. Count even at 2-2. Breaking pitch for a base hit. So Cacciola from the 9 hole has 2 hits now and 2 at bats for Clearview, and that'll bring up the top of the order, Walt Risky.
Batting for Clearview,
Yeah,
number
I don't care what it is,
33,
baseball, softball. If you can get production out of the bottom of your lineup, chances are you're going to put up some good numbers during the day. You expect guys like Prager and Eisenhart and Shaber and Risky, guys like a Milden, to be able to get theirs during the game. If you're getting production from the bottom of the order, Cacciola and company, you're going to put up good numbers, and it's going to be difficult for teams to be able to hang with you. You're going to be able to score a lot of runs.
That time, risky, Shawn. I thought chased one out of the strike zone. Clearview has been pretty disciplined here. Struck out his first time at bat, but he had a base hit his second time with an RBI. Runner going, and makes it easily that time. Cassiola, the catcher, on the stolen base.
You see Foley there, and that's probably one of the things he needs to improve on. He's a junior, so he'll be coming back again next season and through this season and in the off season. Probably to work a little bit on his throwing, but as far as being able to stop balls in the dirt, he's one of the better ones around.
Boy, that fastball had some real movement on it. Out of the strike zone, though, and it's 2-1 now. To Walt Risky, who's, we mentioned, out for baseball the first time, has not played a whole lot, but with that base hit in the first inning, 5 for 6 on the season. That ball's high for ball 3. The other thing is, Shawn, if you're Deptford, you have to watch how long Mordecai can go here today, this being his first outing of the season. Swings and misses for strike 2, counts now full, and that really has some nasty movement on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can see he really confused Risky here. You're going to see this pitch. Good movement on that drop down.
That almost looks like a split, the kind of movement a split finger will give you. And that's outside for ball 4.
That's exactly what I'm sorry, Mark, but that's good. But that's exactly what it looked. It looks like it just drops right into the strikes or out of the strike zone. Risky was frustrated with himself, and then Mordecai on the mound frustrated with the ball going to the outside now. First and second, 1 out. And again, this guy's been absolutely toured with a stick in his hand.
Scott Milden, 1 for 1 with a double and a walk. Had a bases loaded walk for an RBI. Couple runs scored. That double in the first inning increased his average to .454 this season. Oh, he's looking to drop a bunt. That's a beautiful bunt. Mordecai with the throw, and he's not going to get him. So Milden showing his speed, and Clearview has loaded the bases.
Batting for Clearview, number 2, Eddie.
You can see the Pioneers, they don't feel safe even with the 10 runs. I mean, you're right there, you're bunting, you're looking at the guy who's sitting back, you're not just swinging away, having a good time, enjoying that 10-run lead. They feel that they need to add on a stolen base in this inning. You know, a bunt where you feel like the third baseman's sitting back too far. You're not swinging away for the fences with your hottest hitter.
Eddie Eisenhart, who's 1 for 1 with a walk, couple RBIs, couple runs scored. Raised his average to .390. Now has the bases loaded with 1 out here in the top of the second. Clearview up 11-1. And he hits that fair down third base. This is going to be extra bases. 1 run will score, 2 runs will score, and Eisenhart goes into second with a stand-up double as the Pioneers now lead it 13-1.
They're just sitting on it right now. I mean, it seems like they're just seeing everything coming out of the pitcher's hands in perfect swings by a lot of these guys today who are just
Clearview, number 22, Michael
just feeding off the momentum from each other. And that time, Eisenhart getting those big arms extended, pulls that ball down the right field line.
Shawn, that was
up in the lead.
That was only his second double of the season,
which is somewhat surprising because he has good pop in his bat, and also, and I said this earlier, he's also a very, very good base runner, very, very quick guy. He has those long strides, so you should be able to see him stretching those balls in the gap and getting to second base, but hasn't been the case for him this year.
So So that'll bring up hand, pop up. Chasing it is McCarthy, and oh, what a great play by Shaber as he makes the catch. Runner trying to tag up, double play.
Wow, what a play!
What a play by Dean Shaber that time. In the double play, and that will end the inning. But Clearview gets 2 more, and here in the bottom of the second leads at 13-1. So call that P6 and then 6-2 on the double play force. And Clearview hasn't done a whole lot wrong, but that was a little risky, sending the runner in third. I guess if you're going to take a chance, if you're up 13-1, but.
And how about Shaber? I mean, we were talking about that before, Mark, with seeing how the Deptford would play it from here on out, where they get kind of lose the concentration a little bit. But Shaber not only makes the sliding catch, but the presence to get up immediately and fire at home. Thinking about that runner from third tagging, and he gets him easily at the plate. One of the things interesting in that play, Mark, is you can't run over the catcher in high school baseball. You got to slide or veer in that situation. And Narducci was talking with his base runner once he was thrown out at the plate.
I'll tell you one thing.
He did lay off too, by the way.
I'll tell you, and again, people might say, well, what's Clearview trying to do? Run it up. I think if you're Clearview, you're thinking one thing. You're thinking 5 innings, Shawn. You want to save some. You want to save some innings for your pitchers, and you want to give Deptford as few at bats as you can, because Deptford can get it going offensively. So I mean, if you're Clearview, you're going to keep playing hard in this game and try to shorten this game by 2 innings.
You lost 4 straight, and you want to get momentum going into the playoffs. So you see, Gloucester County Times photographer Jillian Bad Attitude Bauer, love her.
With a nickname like that, you still love her? Okay.
Well, we named her Bad Attitude, and I have no idea why. We give each other some nicknames. I'm sure she has a nickname for me when we get to the office, and she hears what I call her. She's you see her around Gloucester County doing a nice job for us. Of course, we have Scott Chapelier in attendance.
How about that?
Sitting behind the plate there.
By the way, this is Dave Zelvis, the senior second baseman for the Spartans, and Spillman quickly ahead of him. 0-2, there you see, 250 with 7 runs scored.
Now, getting back to your point, Mark, you lost 4 straight games. You want to get into the playoffs and have some momentum. And that, again, I don't like when teams, take off, pull off, get the foot off the gas pedal and kind of start coasting. That's where you run into some problems come tournament time. You want to be able to play at such a high level during the second half of the season.
The teams
have that killer instinct.
The teams that get to play 5 innings and save those 2 innings, it adds up. And they took something off of that for strike 3. First strikeout of the game for Spillman.
Now batting for Deptford, number 7.
Wait, that was a changeup that time, and Tim Taylor told us before the game that Rocco teaches his pitchers how to throw changeups for strikes, and in high school baseball, that is not always an easy thing to see.
And if you can get that down, well, you really have something over the hitter. That changeup can, what I thought was his best pitch so far. Spillman, he had a curve earlier that looked real good, but that changeup can be so effective, especially if you're spotting your fastball.
This is Chris Gonzalez, who's ahead of the count 2-0, hitting 267. A lot of these Deptford players, you see, he has 6 walks. Before him, Zelvis with 6 walks as well, so they've been having good eye, and he was taking all the way 3-0 that time.
Zelvis is a good kid. He's been working real hard on trying to gain a little strength and trying to pull the ball more.
As he takes that for a strike, and the count's now full, and he's kind of a rarity in high school baseball or any baseball where he is not wearing any batting gloves. Likes the feel of the bat. Moises Alou is another player that does that for the Mets, and he takes that for ball 4. So Deptford has a 1-out base runner here in the bottom of the second inning, trailing 13-1 against the Pioneers.
Got one down, you.
This will bother your coach, bothers fans, bothers you as a pitcher. You don't want to give free passes when you're up big. You want them to force. You want to force them to make hits and make contact. And when you're walking guys and giving free passes, that's what drives a coach crazy.
There's strike one, 1-1 in the count to Blair, and especially with a guy like Blair at the plate who had just one hit this season and is looking to get it going offensively. You don't want to give him any kind of edge there, and it's now 2-1 the count. There you see the score, 13-1. That is not a misprint.
That's another good pitch, almost identical to the strike earlier in the count.
2-2. Yeah, we talked about Mordecai and the movement on his pitches. There's some late movement that we're seeing from Spillman here. That's out of play. Count remains 2-2.
Too much of the plate on that one. Kind of left that pitch up a little bit. Looked like it was a breaking pitch. Didn't get it where he wanted it in the strike zone.
Another foul ball, and Blair is doing what the Clearview hitters were doing in the first inning, and that's just staying alive, hitting some pretty good pitches. Foul ball. Count remains 2-2. Nice grab there at third base by Coach Taylor.
He's got to have good hands coming up soon. You got to make sure you corral that baby, you know what I
mean? Inside, the count's now full. And this is only the second inning, but Spillman has pitched some deep counts as well. Again, fights it off that time. Nice dive that time by Brandon Sheets at first base.
Nice attempt. I don't know if you had a chance to see him there, but Kyle Jenkins, coaching over at first base for Deptford, he had a nice career here.
Didn't he really?
For the Spartans, and went on to play at Mount Olive College.
Oh, gets him for strike three. His second strikeout of the game, second this inning. And that might have been the best fastball that we've seen Spillman throw. So that'll bring up the senior center fielder, Matt Kapler. 2 down now here in the bottom of the second. Breaking pitch for strike one.
Starting to really improve in this inning, and I don't know if it takes him a little bit to relax, but Spillman looks so much better here.
Here's the off-speed pitch for strike two, and he quickly gets that 0-2. Gonzalez at first, 2 down. Clearview leading 13-1 here in the bottom of the second. Slow grounder, the hand at second base, has to make the throw, and he does for the 3rd out. So no runs, no hits, and 1 left on base. We're through 2, and it's Clearview 13 and Deptford 1. And welcome back. As you see the crowd here as we begin the top of the 3rd inning for the Pioneers. It'll be Bodine, Emmerich, and Shane Taylor. As we mentioned, just a beautiful day for baseball.
Leading off for Clearview, number 21.
Shawn, we talked about how this is an important game for Clearview and getting into the state tournament, but starting out today, Williamstown led the division with a 5-2 record. Clearview was 3-3. Deptford was 5-4. Delsey 5-4. So even though Williamstown is in the driver's seat, there's still a lot of baseball to be played before that Royal division is decided. There's a line drive shot to right field, and a great catch that time by Rob Blair for the first out.
Yeah, he's good out there in right field. Blair's a guy that's not going to misjudge too many balls. He does a nice job of being able to pull balls in right field, which I think is a very tough position in the outfield because of that tailing ball from a right-handed hitter, Mark. I don't know how many times we've seen it in both baseball and softball where that ball will move away from you, and guys really get messed up on that. But Blair does a nice job.
Ground ball, base hit by Jim Emmerich. That's his second hit of the day. And as you mentioned it early on, Shawn, Clearview continues just to find that open spot, not by a lot. Here's a good look at Emmerich at first base. And that'll bring up Shane Taylor. There you see 1 for 2, single, run scored. And mindful that Clearview has stolen a couple of bases, Mordecai goes to first. There's a shot to left field. Gonzalez with a beat on it. Makes the play.
Good jump by Gonzalez in left field. Makes that play easily. Pioneers are trying to jump on Mordecai, looks like more in this inning. Maybe picking up on something or what he's doing on that first pitch, but they've been swinging away. See Sheets 0 for 1. RBI and a run scored, safe on an error in that first inning.
There's a shot foul down third base. Clearview, as you get a look at some of the crowd there, Clearview remaining aggressive at the plate. And back at first. You know what's interesting, Shawn? In the first 3 innings, Clearview has scored, as we see, 13 runs, and Deptford's gotten the first batter out in each inning.
He struck out risky to start the game. Things are looking good.
Oh, pickoff play, and he got him in a rundown now. High throw, but he tags him out as Prager throws to second base and gets Emmerich for the third out. So no runs. And that's been something we haven't said for Clearview. No runs on 1 hit, nobody left. In the middle of the third, it's 13-1 Pioneers. Shawn, of course, the Diamond Classic will be starting this week. Here's a look at it again.
Hey, good job by Mordecai. Picking him off. And watch Shaber again. We already talked about his athleticism in this game. Look at that. Able to grab that one side of his body, come back, and make the tag on the other side. Nice job by him. He is one of the guys that you probably don't talk about in baseball or being a big-time athlete because he excels so much in soccer. But boy, this kid's a good all-around athlete for this Deptford program.
We mentioned the 35th annual Joe Hartman Diamond Classic will be beginning this weekend. 16 of the top teams in South Jersey, and West Deptford, the defending champion, will start off by playing Pennsville.
There's a good one right there.
Yeah, Millville will be taking on Lenape. Millville with the young man Trout, Jeff Trout's son, who's just been killing the ball in South Jersey and also has been one of the best pitchers in South Jersey. Deptford will be hosting Shawnee against Bishop Eustace and Cherry Hill West against Maple Shade. And here's an upcoming game, and this should be a good one. Overbrook against Gloucester Catholic.
Pumped for that.
I'll tell you one
this
thing. I'm going to predict the Rams will win this game.
Yeah. Mark, you're always going out. You're always going out.
Since
On
they're
the
both,
edge.
for those that don't know, they're both named the Rams, and Overbrook had that earlier win over Gloucester Catholic. And Dean Shaber leads things off. He grounded out to second base his first time up. 2-0 the count.
Hey, take a look at the record for Gloucester Catholic, Mark. Are you surprised at that?
They're a very young team, Shawn. They just missed getting into the diamond by one ranking. And they're a very young team. I wouldn't want to play them in another. I wouldn't want to play them in the state tournament coming up. I think they're going to be ready. Shaber, by the way, making that out in the first inning, is still hitting .476. I mean, Gloucester Catholic's program has been so dominant, you're always surprised when they're close to 500. Ground ball to Eisenhardt, he stayed with it. That ball tailed away from him, and he makes the play for the first out.
And it looked like Shaber got caught in the batter's box. He might have slipped up and really didn't get a good jump out of there. Otherwise, he might have been able to make that a little bit closer. We talked already about his speed down to first base, but he spun his wheels. And Eisenhardt doing a nice job. I think he's exactly right, just staying with the play.
Ruggiero takes the first pitch for a ball. Here it is.
You can see Shaber, yeah, he stumbles out of the box, and Big Ed throws it over. Probably would have got him anyway.
Ground ball to hand. He cannot get it, and Ruggiero is going to be a one-out base runner.
Now batting for Deptford, number 24, Dave Prager.
Error that time on the second baseman hand.
And that's what you would have liked to see Prager come up if you were the Pioneers with nobody on base.
Yeah, Prager with a base hit his first time up. Takes that low for ball one. And that hit improved his average 10 points to a lusty 571 now.
It's a pretty good high school average.
Oh, he stayed on that breaking pitch, just foul that time. You could see he held off, he showed some discipline, but just pulled it foul. Count 1-1.
Boy, Spillman looked pretty good in the bottom half of that second inning.
Prager, by the way, with 12 extra base hits this season, 9 doubles, swings at one out of the strike zone. He kind of gave himself a tap saying, come on, stay within yourself. He knew that he went out of the range that time, and Spillman ahead 1-2 in the count. This is where you probably see some breaking pitch. That's low for ball 2. Prager has only struck out 4 times this season, and when you have that kind of power that he does, that's pretty impressive.
To the back of the mound and relax, Matt.
Breaking pitch just missed, counts full.
Just a little high. It was another good breaking pitch, trying to keep Prager looking and drop that thing into the strike zone and get the third strike called by the ump, but didn't get it. Prager gets another
Oh, he's chased one out of the strike zone that time. Fouls it off. Count remains 3-2. And again, Prager not happy with himself. Now you can look at this two ways though. He's giving himself another chance to swing the bat. Down 13-1.
He did get a piece of it to foul off, but might be a little impatient because again, when you're down, you know, especially you're looked at as the leader of the team, the best hitter on the team, you feel like it's your responsibility to come up with big hits to try and inspire the team to do a little bit better in the game, but you don't want to do that by trying to force things. If you get on base anyway, any chance to get on base and make things happen, for Deptford, that also puts more pressure on Spillman with guys on base.
Tell you what, I probably would not throw him a fastball, the kind of rips he's been getting. And there's ball 4. So Ruggiero will go to second, Prager to first. 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Deptford trailing 13-1. And Max McCarthy coming to the plate. McCarthy takes that fastball for strike 1. He has the 1 RBI on a ground out to Taylor at third base.
Real good game against Eastern. Home run shy of hitting for the cycle in that game.
Took something off it and pops it up. Eisenhart calling for it, and he makes the catch for the 2nd out. Boy, Eisenhart went a long, long way. Bodine in center field came in too, but Eisenhart took charge right away and made the putout.
Come on, one more.
Spillman's doing a nice job getting ahead of the hitters. That time he gets ahead of McCarthy. Has him where he wants him. And gets the out. How important is that, Mark? See it so many times and just getting that first pitch over for a strike, and it just increases your chances so much more to be able to get that batter out.
And there looked like a changeup that time that Tom Foley got ahead of that time. Foley flew out the right his first time up. That's low, 1-1. Foley now batting .416. He has 10 RBIs this season.
Relax out there, Matt. Relax.
Again, good movement on that, and a nice job by Casiolo keeping that near him. 2-1 to Foley. Deptford trying to get some offense here. Runners at first and second, 2 down. Bottom of the 3rd. Spartans trailing 13-1 to Clearview. Jams him that time. Did that hit him? And he gets him for the out, so Spillman coming off the mound makes the play for the 3rd out. I didn't know if that hit off him or they were going to call that foul or fair, but obviously they didn't, so no runs that inning on no hits. There were 2 left on base. We're through 3, and it's been all Clearview, 13-1. And there you see Brandon Sheets will lead things off for Clearview. It'll be Sheets, Casiolo, then the top of the order. Risky for the Pioneers. And it's been all Clearview. McCarthy makes the play. Prager on the catch that time, and it's 1 out. And the first batter has made an out in all 4 innings, Shawn.
We'll probably score 12 runs. You see Tugboat doing a nice job getting over on the play. Easy throw over. Plays it on 2 hops.
You like McCarthy's footwork there at third base, and Prager making the catch, and that'll bring up Nick Casiolo, the number 9 batter, who is 2 for 2 with 2 singles.
And one thing I think the Pioneers have picked up on, sorry Mike, that Mordecai gets his first pitch over. He's around the strike zone. He has good control. You talked about him, at what his command would be like. Well, he's been around the plate, and the Pioneers picking up on that in the 2nd inning to close out the 1st inning. And they've been trying to swing early in the count.
And Cassiola down 0-2. And to show even still this part of the season, Cassiola came into the game hitting 241, Shawn. Going 2 for 2. He's now up to 290.
That makes you feel good, huh?
By the way, just the 2 runs that Mordecai gave up in the second are charged to him. Pop up. Kapler makes a tough play that time and stayed with it for the second out.
See Cacciola there. His dad played for Deptford. Has a little affiliation with the school.
I think it's safe to say that his father is rooting against his alma mater on this one. It's Walt Risky now. 1 for 2, also with a walk.
Nothing bothers our camera. I think it's Shawn up there. Shawn Kucinski, he was actually trying to make a play on that. Not trying to get away on it. He's trying to make a play while still controlling the camera.
I think he was going to try to keep the ball myself. That ball's foul, and quickly Mordecai ahead 0-2, and he's working quickly, and he's been pretty impressive for a guy making his first appearance this season.
Saw Risky chase a couple times. I wouldn't be surprised if Mordecai picking up on that gets him to try to chase something.
And there's another base hit by the Pioneers, and Risky with his second hit of the day. How many have they placed over the shortstop and today?
Got too much of the plate there on the outside part of the plate. Risky, a big kid, can stretch his arms out and reach that outside part of the plate. I thought maybe go upstairs or maybe go down low, get him to chase. He was able to do that a couple of times, him and also Bainey in the first inning.
Scott Milden was ahead of that one that time as he fouls it off, and Milden been on base all 3 times, 2 for 2 with a walk, a double, a bunt single. Couple runs scored.
Looking at one of the real good young sophomores, Marc, inside the World Division.
Oh, and he's hit with that one, Shawn. Excuse me.
That's right.
You're right, though. Go ahead on that one. You're right about him, and now he's been on base 4 times. And
I figured out the reason why he's done so well. Always puts his left sock on before his right one.
Little superstition.
No idea, man. No wonder I've been messing up all these years. I don't think I pay attention to that.
Here's Eisenhardt, who's 2 for 2, is 4 RBIs. As he takes that first pitch for a strike. He's been on base all 3 times. He walked, single, double. He's raised his average 29 points, now hitting .404. Round ball to Shaber, makes the strong throw over the first, and Eisenhardt got down there quickly, but Shaber with the gun at shortstop, and no runs for Clearview. That's not something we've said a whole lot, but no runs here. Here's a look at it, Shawn.
You can see Eisenhardt reaching down for that one, and Shaver says, hey, you know what, I'm going to, Channel 5, I'm going to throw my arm off here and gun it over to first base. Nice arm by Shaver.
No runs, 1 hit, 2 left on base. Actually, the second straight inning with no runs for Clearview. There's your score, middle of the 4th. Deptford trying to come back. And Dave Zelvis leading off things here for the Spartans. It'll be Zelvis, Gonzalez, and Rob Blair as Matt Spillman on the mound for his 4th inning of work. Tuno. Zelvis struck out his first time. In fact, it was the first strikeout that Spillman had recorded. 1 of 2 in the game so far. There's a strike.
Another kid that's really worked hard on his game, hitting the batting cages a lot. Taking so many ground balls during the off season.
And again, Deptford is making Spillman throw strikes. It's 3-1 the count. Would not be surprised if Zelvis is looking right here. No, he's not looking. That ball drops in. It's going to be extra bases. As Bodine couldn't get it, and Zelvis stops at second base with a stand-up double.
See him here, good swing on this one. So the batting cage is paying off for him.
Bodine making the gamble here on the play.
Yeah, give it a shot. I mean, this is where you're up 13-1. That's where you try to make the highlight play on Comcast. We replayed a couple of times. So good effort by him to try to stretch out and grab it.
Shawn, by the way, that is the first extra base hit of the season for Zelvis. As that'll bring up Chris Gonzalez, who walked his first time up. Batting .267.
He has had one of the bigger hits of the year for this team. He was down 7-6 against Bishop Eustace in the top of the 7th. He had a 2-run hit. It ended up going up in 8-7 and won that game.
How about that victory over Bishop Eustace, a team in the top 10 in South Jersey, annually, including this year. Tim Taylor beating his alma mater.
Right. Just goes to show you, too, this Deptford team, this score doesn't indicate how this team can play at times. I mean, to win a game like that against a caliber team of Bishop Eustace. No wonder why Rocco's trying to get every run that he possibly can. He knows this is a pretty good team, a pretty good program with the ability to come back in games.
3-1 to count to Gonzalez. You know, it's just been so crazy in the Trico Royal this year. Deptford, for instance, Shawn, has beaten Highland twice. Highland's beaten Clearview twice. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just how you're playing that day.
Right. It's been fun to look at the box scores in the Royal Division this season to see who really wants. Like you said, Williamstown looks like they're the most interested at this point. But
oh, he jams him that time. Hand will have to come up throwing quickly, and he does for the first out. Nice pitch that time by Spillman, who jammed Gonzalez. Zelvis goes to third base. Is there, you see him over there. Nice job by Hand. Here's a look at it, Shawn. Watch as he jams him right there.
Good pitch on the inside part of the plate, and Hand's going to come up. Hand's another guy that they like to see him pitching a little bit more. His arm just doesn't seem to be right at this point of the year. But they're going to count on him to give him some innings at some point. And a senior.
There you see Rob Blair, who struck out his first time up. Swings and misses, 1-1 to count. Well, Hand is leading this team with 4 victories. He's 4-1 on the season. Tries to change up that time out of the strike zone, 2-1 to Blair. Matt Kapler on deck for the Spartans. Trying to put something together here in the 4th. That's high, and it's 3-1. Now, the last time I said Zelvis would probably take a pitch at 3-1, he ended up ripping his first extra base hit of the season. We'll see how it goes here. And there's ball 4.
Now batting for Deptford, number 13, Matt Kapler.
4th walk that Spillman has allowed here today. And we have runners at the corners, 1 out with senior Matt Kapler at the plate. And Kapler grounded out the Hand his first time up. So Deptford turning the lineup over and trying trying to get something going here with the number 9 hitter. Turning lineup over after this, and that's low for ball 1. Strike 1, 1-1 the count. Again, good movement.
Yeah, good movement on that pitch. And, at times, Spillman looks like he's real good, and at other times, you wonder about him because the command's not quite there or where he wants it to be.
There's a breaking pitch that just misses, 2-1.
That's one that isn't called for a strike, but it's not a bad pitch. He's trying to, again, drop that into the strike zone. And a lot of kids, have trouble picking up that curve.
There's a shot that should drop in, and it does for a base hit. 1 run will score, and the Spartans now have 2. It's 13-2 on the RBI single by Matt Kapler.
Good 2-out hit for him. The bottom of the order give him some confidence. Excuse me, 1 out. Now with the top of the lineup, Deptford would like to try and tack on some more. Try to get itself at least in the game. With Mordecai on the mound, he's done a decent job settling in.
But he's gotten behind all these batters. There you see Dean Shaver, 0 for 2 on the day, still batting .465 on the season. There's a chain that he has to take off, I believe, Shawn.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we're waiting for. Umpire Dave Borton telling him that. And now Shaver coming back. Certainly been a table setter that Deptford envisioned from this leadoff spot with the 22 runs scored this season. Round to the hand. That's a high hopper that time. Eisenhart 1 over the second for the double play. 4-6-3 double play, and Clearview gets out without any more damage. Just with the 1 run there on the 2 hits. We're through 4, Shawn, and it is 13-2 Pioneers.
Hand does a nice job of staying with it, and you can tell how sharply that ball was hit because Shaver with terrific speed. You'd think he's able to beat out most attempts there at a double play, but that ball was hit so sharply. Hand doing a nice job turning it over to Eisenhart. And Eisenhart with that good arm. Now watch this ball kind of hop.
Look at how it takes off on him, and he's able to get it in there. Wow.
Not sure if it didn't hit that cutout. It certainly took a hop in Eisenhart. Look at him turning too.
That's a great replay by our guys here because you saw the tremendous footwork, as you mentioned, by Eisenhart there, straddling the bag. And
pitching change for Deptford. They have Eisenhart. We talk about his ability to be a leader on this team, but he's a pretty good athlete. Not just a leader for the Pioneers. It does a lot more than just that. And this is a good all-around athlete that did a terrific job during the football season. A real nice job here in the baseball season. Has been a quality kid in the Clearview athletic program over the last few years.
And it'll be Andrew Murphy coming in. There we see Crystal, one of our camera operators. Andrew Murphy will be the new pitcher, yet another junior for this Deptford team. Has no record. He's pitched just 6 innings this season. And I think, Shawn, that we have to give Jason Mordecai a lot of credit. Pitched 3 2/3 innings, allowed just the 2 runs. And for a guy that hasn't pitched this year, I think gives the Deptford fans a lot to be encouraged about.
Yeah, you're right. I thought he did a nice job settling in. He getting the ball over the plate. His command looked pretty good to start off. Got a chance to see him in a game that you were going to take some looks at him and see what he was going to be able to do, and this was a perfect game to do it after the Clearview jumped out to the 11-0 lead.
This will be a key for Murphy because he's only pitched 6 innings, but he has 6 strikeouts. So you like that ratio, but he's also walked 10 batters. So it's going to be all about his control on this.
Yeah, he's got good pop on that fastball.
Absolutely.
But again, spotting it and making sure he's getting it over the plate. If he's able to get that pitch over the plate, and he's a guy that can fan some batters and put them down without putting it in play. And he's also related to Adam Telefero, the young man from Eastern, who unfortunately had suffered that devastating hit to Ohio State. But truly an inspirational story, a football guy who was a very good athlete at Eastern. Marc, I know, I'm sure you remember what he did over at Eastern as a member of the Vikings. And he was such an outstanding running back.
And he's done a great job with the Adam Telefero Foundation, and few better people that we've met in the sports world than the young man. And he's going to be graduating from law school this spring, Shawn. So what a tremendous story, and just a great contributor to society he is.
Yeah, I mean, he's a kid too, and I don't think I need to point this out, but sometimes you think, well, it's an unfortunate incident. He's kind of benefited from that, but he was a really smart kid, a leader when he was at Eastern, a leader when he went to Penn State, and is continuing in that role, and really a good role model for some of these young athletes to go and talk to.
Absolutely. Michael Ham, by the way, count 3-1 on Michael, who's 1 for 2 with a walk. Swings at what would have been ball 4 that time. The count's now full. Hand now hitting .473. And of course, there's the Adam Telefero Football Classic that they have every year. Some of the top seniors in South Jersey.
Great game. We're at Comcast. We're always there.
Absolutely.
Having a good time with that.
Yep.
That's his
ball 4.
That tournament is as well run as you could possibly run a tournament, or that event, that game is as well as you can run an exhibition or an all-star game. That's one of the highlights for me, especially baseball's fun and softball's fun. We have a good time with that. To get back into football and end really the scholastic year with that event for us here at Comcast is always a treat.
Matt Bodine, there you see 2 for 3, 2 singles, 3 RBIs. Takes that first pitch for a ball.
This is another spot to get Murphy in and get him some work and give him a chance to get some varsity action on the mound with the 6 innings already in his book.
Looks like he's just trying to throw the ball by people, and sometimes that's what happens. The ball goes out of the strike zone. 2-0 now, the count to Bodine, who, by the way, is hitting .452 now. Takes that pitch for strike 1.
2 big differences there. And the pitch before, and we couldn't really break them both down, but the pitch before, he was really just throwing. And on that pitch, he did more of pitching. He just went through his motion a lot better. The second one, it looked like he was way off in his pitching motion.
Looked like he took a little something off it, too. Ground ball by Prager. Prager looking for someone to throw it to, and nobody's there. So Prager made a nice backhanded stab that time, looking for Zelvis or Murphy to cover. Nobody there, so an infield base hit for Bodine.
Bodine doing a nice job hustling down the line. But runners now at first and second. Zelvis, I don't think, reacted quickly to it, but certainly he also might have been thinking, I'm going up to charge this ball and throwing it over. Once Prager makes a stop, you have Bodine running down the line by himself and getting to first.
That'll bring up Emmerich, and the runners are going now as he bunts it. Foley making the play at first, and it's safe. The ball goes out of there, and Clearview scores its 14th run on another crazy play, and it's now 14-2. So you give it E2 on the throw that time. Hand coming in to score the 14th run.
Again, one of the problems that you see from Deptford is sometimes they'll throw the ball around a little bit. That's something they'll need to improve on, and certainly can. They have a lot of juniors you mentioned earlier, Marc, on this team that in the offseason can work on some things and get much better. And I mean, they have some guys here in this lineup that can put together a pretty good season next year. I mean, this isn't over for this season right now, but still they have some work to be done.
Shawn, if you don't think Clearview is trying to put this thing away in 5 innings, I think that shows it right there. That again, now up by 12 runs, trying to get that 10-run rule. That's outside for ball 1. Shane Taylor at the plate. It's 1 for 3 on the afternoon. But I mean, I think that's as good as example as any, as Clearview saying, look, we mean business. We want this game to end, and we want to clinch this win to get to the playoffs.
Not only that, but like you mentioned, save innings for your pitchers. You never know what's going to happen. You have Delsey coming up on Wednesday. That can turn into a 14-12 extra inning game or something like that. You need some extra pitchers and extra arms, and you still have somebody like Spillman available, or somebody you might have used to get Spillman out of this game. So it's not just somebody trying to pour it on. Like you mentioned, saving those 2 innings could be big when it comes to the pitching role.
There's a pop-up. And it's foul. Nice, valiant effort by Rob Blair in right field. The other thing, Shawn, both of these teams are in Group 3, and I think everybody realizes that even though Shawnee lost the other day to Cherry Hill West, that I think that's who you're going to have to beat if you're going to win Group 3 this year. That's high. 3-1 to count. Of course, Shawnee has arguably the best prospect in South Jersey in Quentin Miller, who is a pitcher who is signed with the University of North Carolina, but a lot of people think he can be taken in the first 5 rounds of the draft. There's a pitch for a strike, 3-2.
Speaking of which, you have a kid who was here last year for Deptford, Sheldon Johnson.
Absolutely,
who is now, I believe, at Lewisburg.
And apparently, from talking to Tim Taylor, he had a good year. Sheldon was drafted, I think it was in the 40th round by the Atlanta Braves. And, they changed the draft rules. Normally, in the past, a junior college player, a team would have the full year to sign him. Now, if they don't sign him by August 15th, they can go back in. But he can be redrafted. And, there's some talk that he could be drafted in the first 10 rounds. So
there's no question he is a terrific talent, an excellent athlete. Very poised in how he handles himself during the play. One of the things that he had to do was just figure out what he wanted to do. And it sounds like, it looks like he figured it out. He definitely wants to be a baseball player and done a nice job at Lewisburg and put together a fine season. You're right, he might get drafted in the top 10 rounds and have a decision to make.
Absolutely, and bases are now loaded. Nobody out. Brandon Sheets.
Yeah, hit his foot.
That one hit him that time. Remember earlier in the game we thought that one hit off a player and it didn't. That time it hit off Sheets, so it'll be strike 1. And you're right, this is really the first time in Sheldon Johnson's life that he's played one sport the whole year and got to concentrate on that. And we saw what kind of a quarterback he was at Deptford. Could be a very intriguing prospect. Murphy trying to get out of a huge jam here.
And although the ball bounces away, doesn't get too far. Although he could have probably been, if he would have concentrated on it, Marc, I think he could have been a Division I football player if he would have put the time in it. That's just not something he wanted to do. And I think it frustrated other people when you see somebody with that much talent and you think it's going to waste. But the kid wanted to play baseball. And that's that's where he wants to go. And wish him the best. Obviously, you want to see kids do well coming out of South Jersey.
Well, if anyone ever saw him throw a ball, they would have a hard time disputing his decision to keep playing baseball.
Oh yeah, he was good on the dime, and he was throwing a ball in football. He had the best play fake that I've ever seen from a high school quarterback.
Foul off, 2-2 the count. Sheets.
We would send, we'd send out the Comcast cameras to get some footage, some highlights sometimes, some different things. He would fake he'd fake the highlight, the person who was just shooting the cameraman. He'd fake out the officials. There was times where he would take it with such great execution, they'd blow a play dead, and you see Sheldon streaking down the sidelines. And Al Oriole would be flipping out the football coach for Deptford.
Al would be getting excited?
A little bit.
That's a little hard to believe.
BP rising just a tad.
What a job Al Oriole's done with this Deptford football program.
Oh, excellent. He came from UConn, a Deptford graduate. He was up at Connecticut, not UConn, the actual college, but was in Connecticut as a high school coach. Came back here to Deptford and South Jersey roots.
There's a shot to left field. Gonzalez came in, then he backed off, but this should be deep enough to get the runner home, and it will be now on the sacrifice fly. Clearview now leading 15-2 on Brandon Sheets' RBI sacrifice fly.
Some of the early 2000 teams at Deptford with Mike Green leading the team. Boy, they were very, very good. South Jersey champions. You're gonna see.
And now they're going to see if he left early. And they're saying he did. So call that the second out.
Not something you see off.
Batting for Clearview, number 3.
Well, that's heads up by the Spartans. So instead of 15-2, it is now, again, 14-2. How about that? Shawn, I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Yeah, I don't know
before.
if I've ever seen it either.
I mean, I've seen the appeal a lot. I've just never seen it be successful. So now runners first and second, 2 down here in the top of the 5th. Casiolo took that first pitch for a ball. Swings and misses on that one.
Murphy's getting the ball over with more regularity now. Maybe he's getting a little bit more comfortable being on the mound. There goes the runner.
Good job, Jimmy.
Stolen base by Emmerich. Meanwhile, Shane Taylor stayed at first base, so it wasn't a straight double steal for the Pioneers. So 2 down here, the count 2-1 to Casiolo. Pops it up. Kapler in center field, and he'll make the play for the 3rd out. So now the suspense is whether Deptford can extend this past 5 innings, trailing by a 14-2 score.
Yeah, I don't think Taylor really liked his buddy Carnacci running. They were talking a little bit about it. I don't think Carnacci was getting hugs from Taylor as he walked by him.
Well, look, he's trying to just finish this game out. He's trying to get to the state tournament.
Tell him to go. Tell him to stop. Today's last day.
People aren't real happy with it, with the Pioneers taking off. But Carnacci is claiming that he didn't tell them to steal; that they're just doing it on their own, and he'll probably have a talk with his players.
Well, what I think the Deptford fans are saying, you can tell them not to steal.
Yeah.
But the thing is, again, I have no problem. This is a 2-run lead. What if Deptford gets 3 this inning and is able to extend to 2 more time, 2 more innings? You never know what'll happen.
Now listen, if my kid was out there, you know what I tell him? get 3 outs. Get 3 outs to throw them out at third base. And they'll stop running. That's no knock on Tom Foley or the Deptford defense or Murphy the pitching, but that's just that's the way I would handle it.
Well, it'll be Ruggiero, Prager, and McCarthy here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Deptford trying to extend it, needs 3 runs to do it. There's a nice breaking pitch that time for strike 1. Ruggiero 0 for 1 with a walk, reached bases last time on an error. As we said before, Shawn, you can throw that changeup for a strike. Even if you get the batters chasing for it out of the strike zone. That's a pretty good job right there by Ruggiero. He fought off a very, very tough 0-2 pitch.
And just to comment on that real quick also is, you're going in, be a bad time to try and steal a base. Again, you're trying to slide into third base and you have a game wrapped up and one of your guys goes out with an injury too. So, but also the Clearview kids also have to realize that. And I know it sounds far-fetched from happening, Mark, but how many times have we seen that? Michael Vick during the preseason gets injured during the games that don't count, or somebody late in the game gets injured.
He gets him on a cold third strike. Excuse me, Shawn.
No, it's all right.
Now batting for Deptford, number 24, Dave Prager.
Well, I think the 10-run rule kind of promotes you trying to get as many as you can to get the game over with.
We already mentioned the reasons for doing that as well. It has a lot to do with being able to save your pitchers.
Prager takes that, ball 2. Saw before, 1 for 1. He's batting .571, 3 homers, 23 RBIs.
And that just doesn't go for the winning team too, Mark. We're saying about Clearview saving their arms. Also for Deptford too. Obviously, if you're getting banged around and you're getting beat up, you're probably making a few pitching changes, and that team's already, for the most part, and this is.
Wow, there's Prager. That one should be extra bases. He's going to second base, and he will make it with a stand-up double. What a hitter Dave Prager is. Been on base all 3 times today with a single, a double, and a walk.
Now batting for the Spartans, number 5.
You get back to the point. There's some teams that really struggle, and they'll see the 10-run rule coming into effect more times than some other teams. They're just getting beat up a little bit inside their division, and you also want them to be able to save some arms as well.
Tough play by Eisenhart. Insured, he has to make the throw, and he won't get him. He will not get McCarthy that time. That was a tough throw, and Sheets was unable to get the ball. Called an infield hit.
See Eisenhart makes the nice play. He's got the nice strong over.
Deep in the hole that time. Tough play. Give him an infield hit. Now Deptford has runners at the corners as Tom Foley at the plate. Foley, the catcher, 0 for 2. Off-speed pitch just missed. 1-1 the count. There's a shot. That's fair. 1 run will score. And now Deptford is within 14-3. Still with 1 out here in the 5th.
A little something going here.
Number 1, Dave Zelvis.
In the bottom of the 5th inning, the Deptford wants to try and extend this game. And
there's another hit through the middle. That's Zelvis. Coming around the score is McCarthy, and now it is a 10-run game. As the Spartans get within 14-4 on the RBI single and the second hit of the game by Dave Zelvis.
They're going to take Spillman probably out. Make the change here and try to finish this game off. I'd be surprised if they don't pull him.
Well, here's the thing. The people that were a little ticked off about the stolen base, now we're looking at, why you try to score as many runs as you can if you're Clearview. I'm not sure he'll take him out, Shawn. I think he'll at least give him one more batter. We'll see. Matt Spillman trying to finish it off here. There you see the score, 14-4. That's low for ball one to Chris Gonzalez.
Hey, 7! Hey, what do you say now? Hey, 7!
Jammed him that time. And making them put out his sheets. And I'll tell you what, Shawn, Zelvis had to get back there quickly.
I don't think either one of them guys, I don't know if the son maybe had something to do with it, but both of them. I don't think the base runner saw it. The first baseman put his hands up. He didn't see it. That was Sheets.
So now Rob Blair will be trying to extend this game for the Spartans. Runners at first and second, 2 outs, 14-4, and he takes that for ball one. You see that he walked his last time up. Struck out his first at bat. I think Blair's going to be very selective at the plate. Ball two. Pretty nice stab that time by Casiola, making that grab. Again, 2-0, and you're looking to get base runners. I'm not sure if Blair's going to swing at this, even if it's down the middle. Oh, and just as I said that, he fouls it off. Always works that way, doesn't it? I guess Spillman felt that too, because he did throw him a fastball right down the middle.
It looked like he took something off of it a little bit.
That's low for ball three, 3-1. I think Tim Taylor's saying if you're not sure it's a strike, do not swing this bat. 3-1 the count. Runners at first and second, 2 outs, and it's ball four. So this brings a little bit of suspense to this game now with the bases loaded. Matt Kapler, who had an RBI single his last time at bat. He takes that for strike one. Kapler, who entered today with 2 RBIs, now has 3, obviously, with that hit his last time up. Grounder to short, Eisenhart over to second to hand, and that'll do it. So the Pioneers have ended the losing streak and also qualified for the South Jersey Group 3 tournament as Matt Spillman goes the distance, 5 innings. There you see your final score. Clearview 14, Deptford 4, back for the post game right after this. And welcome back. Marc Narducci here with the winning Clearview coach, Rocco Canaccia. And Rocco, tremendous effort. I guess you couldn't have in your wildest dreams envisioned an 11-run first inning.
I'll be honest with you, Mark. Most of the times that we've played Deptford, it's always been a close game, and to get 11 runs in the first inning, it was truly a godsend because we've come close. We needed 1 win 5 games ago to qualify for the playoffs, and our kids never gave up. We didn't get breaks the first few games, but today we seem to get a lot of breaks.
How does it feel to get into the postseason now? You have it. You've been striving for this, and now you're here.
I don't want to get real religious, but I spent an hour at the Padre Pio statue yesterday. I really feel good for the seniors this year because they put a lot of time and effort into the season, and just to experience a playoffs is truly going to be a great experience.
One of the things, and people might say it's a little controversial, there's some stolen bases late, you're up this. I've said on the air, with the 10-run rule, you're a team. You've got to try to cut this game to a 5-inning game. I mean, because the other 2 innings, you're trying to save innings for your pitchers. And I think with the 10-run rule, it makes you keep playing that way despite the score.
I know it's a controversial thing. We try to win games. We didn't have much pitching today. We played 4 games last week, and any way we could get a W, we tried to do the best that we could in that situation. Not a means to try to embarrass the other team, because we have the utmost respect for Deptford.
Speaking of pitching, talk about your pitcher. He came in today with 16 innings. You got 5 out of him today, and a nice effort.
Yeah, he did a nice job against Highland on Friday, throwing 4 innings, and he came back just on 2 days rest. And he throws strikes, and fielders love playing behind him because he creates ground balls and fly ball opportunities. And any pitcher that throws strikes on a consistent basis, the fielders behind him surely stay awake during the game.
All right, Rocco, and now we'll go to Shawn Leary, who has 2 of the many Clearview Pioneer stars of the game. Shawn?
All right, we're going to be joined by Scott Milton in just a second, but we're first joined by Eddie Eisenhart. There, we're used to seeing you with pads on, talking to you after a Clearview football win. But this is just as good, I'm sure, for you to get into the postseason. I know you're going to be going on to play at Rowan, but it's a pretty exciting time for you guys to win here on the Deptford field.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, we lost 4 games straight. It's great to break out with a win like this.
What's it like for you to transition that? I mean, from football to baseball season, you're playing a shortstop. What is there any difference, or is there something that prepares you for baseball when you're playing football?
Oh, yeah, just like you learn so many like leadership skills in football. I mean, carries over to baseball. It's just.
What about that first inning? You guys didn't look like you were going to be sitting down in the dugouts anytime soon. Yeah. Just one of them games, you see where everything's happening for you, and have you been on the opposite end of that?
Oh, yeah. We actually have been on the opposite end of it, but just like everybody was getting hits in the first inning. Just that's how it happens.
Congratulations to you. Best of luck for the rest of the season, getting in the playoffs. And just a sophomore, but you're making some noise here for the Pioneers at that number 2 hole. First inning, I mean, you guys are just, plating them around, but still, no lead is safe here?
Absolutely not. No lead is safe at all. You got to keep piling on those runs. It may hurt the other team, but, that's the way it's played in high school.
You have some teammates, obviously, that know what the playoffs are all about, but you getting into them, Scott, just tell me the feeling about getting into the playoffs and what it's like, and your now expectations for this team.
Oh, it's amazing. I'm just a sophomore. It's my first year playing varsity. It's just so much fun making the playoffs, and hopefully we'll have a good run.
I know right now you're hitting the cover off the ball. What's it like when you're going up there and it feels like every single time you step to the plate you're going to get a hit?
Oh, it's amazing. It just, gives you that level of comfort that, you're going to get a hit, It feels really good.
Well, congratulations to you. Best of luck to you. Best of luck in the playoffs. And you still got the World Division coming up, so a lot to play for if you're a Pioneers player and a Pioneers fan. I know they're pretty excited over here to make the playoffs, Marc, but still a lot of work to be done. You talked about it. Still got the World Division. You get into the playoffs. I mean, there's a lot of things that could still happen for this team. And if there's any indication of how they feel right now, this is a pretty comfortable bunch that says, we can make this happen not just here, but we can make it happen every single game.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And the ease that you can now play with, and not with that kind of pressure when they go in and face Delsey, knowing that you're already in. But as we talked about, Shawn, Williamstown has not clinched this Royal Division yet, so a team like a Clearview with three division losses still in there, so you have to be shooting for that. But this just takes one layer of pressure off of you. Mm-hmm. Deptford already in the postseason, so who knows? Both these teams could see each other again.
Well, that's right. And they were talking back and forth still a little bit, heated between the two teams, which always, makes that rivalry just that much better. Talking about that situation and putting it to bed, they both coaches I know have a lot of respect for each other, and after they think about it a little bit more, probably be talking to one another maybe this week. And like Rocco had mentioned, there was an 18-4 game a couple of years ago, so both teams know what it feels like to be beaten up on.
Well, the other thing is, and he talked about, his pitcher went 4 on Friday, 5 today. I mean, it's a lot of innings. To be able to save a couple of innings is obviously a big deal.
And I think we both have our stance on it and
Yeah.
made it quite clear as to how we feel about it. So still, I mean, you look at both these teams, and one thing that I just want to point out, both these teams and the way how it's going, if you're playing your best baseball at the end of the year, we've seen from Gateway and Sterling last year just in the Group 2, Sterling winning as a 10th seed. You get into the playoffs and you give yourself that opportunity to get through the Group 3. And Shawnee is the favorite, but you never know.
You never know. You get a hot pitcher, you start getting some confidence in playing. The bottom line is you got to be in to be able to compete, and now both of these teams will be competing in the South Jersey Group 3 playoffs. So that'll do it here from Deptford High School. A very interesting game. You don't see a whole lot of 11-run first innings, but that's what we saw here today. The Clearview Pioneers winning by a score of 14-4. For Shawn Leary, Marc Narducci saying thanks for watching and have a good evening, everybody.